Can you hear me? Can you understand me? I got something to say. I just want to be heard. That takes so much energy to try to be heard, to try to make sure that people understand you. That could be a lot and be very involved. Applying what you learn and what we get an understanding of in Toastmasters has revolutionized my understanding and my perception about communication. You got to understand that in my youth, I always wanted to be heard. I could talk a lot. That was not a problem. I always also wanted to be first. I always wanted to be first, jumping out there so that people can hear me and understand me. Now, this was throughout my educational career, in high school and even in college. What I understood and learned eventually is that might not necessarily be the best policy. Jumping out and being first, what I realized is that those that came after me, they seemed to have had better content in what they said. It seemed like it was no heads turning or aha moments when people were listening to me, but it was the content and the quality of what others were saying. In the Bible, there's known this prophet that took off running, and he needed to hear a word from the Lord. And the messenger took off running and went to the king. And when he got to the king said, "What do you have to say from the prophet?" He had nothing to say. He just took off running, but had nothing to say. And then the other messenger that came behind him, he says, "The prophet is saying this, Sir King." And even as a young kid, I recognized that that was me. What was I to do? Because I always wanted to be first, because of being impulsive and fast. It even got to the point, as I grew up and being mature and all of that, and this pattern consisting, my daughters came to me and we talked. We talked about my communication skills, about how I am and how they've recognized me over the years. To my humble understanding, they shared and said, "Dad, what happens is there's a pattern that we've all become accustomed to. When we come to you about something, within the first minute or two, you take over. And then you eventually get into your own thing. And then the thing that we came to you to talk about eventually is lost. Even if we talk with you, you may cut us off to bring up a point, but then you go down a rabbit hole and the entire conversation got lost." That really touched my heart when that happened. And as I became more mature and recognizing my particular communication style, I got to the point where I said and realized I need to make a change. I need to make a change in my communication style. Yeah, I want to be the first out the gate and I have so much to say, but I'm recognizing and realizing that I want to be different. In addition, another thing is the whole going around Robin Hood's barn thing. That is me. When I try to explain something or give an answer to someone, my process of getting the answer or responding can be long, and I can be long-winded. In actuality, I need to get straight to the point faster and sooner. In conclusion, I realized that in learning the different communication styles, I realized that my own communication style needs an overhaul. I need to take into consideration some of the other features and aspects of the other communication styles and adopt them as part of my own. I need to give my listeners and those that are hearing me more time more time to hear what I'm saying, and give them more time to respond back. I need to think and process more before I say, before I speak, thereby giving those that listen to me a better quality of content that I have to share. A lot of times with some of the speeches, it specifically talks about and explains studying and research. And that is a powerful element because you will then know that what you're saying in your communication has a lot to yield and provide and to give those that are listening to you. So in my communication, it is going to grow. What about your communication? What elements could be better for what you have to say? What other elements can you adapt and be better at communicating to those that are listening to you?